How did you come up with the idea of today?
It was actually about over 10 years ago that we first had the idea, and we initially did a series of albums called Dance Anthems Unplugged, which was dance music for barbecues, for for people getting older. And then we spoke with Danny, and we were looking for the right person who could score it, essentially. So once we found that, it's just taken us a long time, but yeah, we've come together in the end.
Yeah, we've sort of incorporated acoustic music and the orchestra into what is essentially a digital format, really, and found some really nice melodies and things that were in the original recordings that you perhaps would miss if you listened to the original records. Widened the audience, hopefully, and took the clang out of it. The sort of thing that can maybe make you have to be in a club to hear it is kind of taken away.
Yeah, without being a bit funny as well, like if you're going to do orchestral dance music, just use the orchestra, leave your decks at home. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm coming from, But I think it's. I mean, how long has it taken us? 3 days, something like that.
Yeah, months. But essentially, not too long to sort of try and reinvent the orchestra, as it were.
It's a bit of a labour of love as well, because we only do it because it's something we actually really wanted to do as well. So and a lot of the excitement here today and the people who've been here has just proven how people really enjoyed it. Even if you look at the guys who are playing, you see it's a little bit, they're actually into it, and they're like, I remember this in '95, you know what I mean. So that's there was a 6'8" guy shook my hand and looked rather excited as I came, and he was right up for playing it today, and that's unusual. Darth Vader.
I think he's in the next room. I heard him earlier.
So how do you turn a dance track into something that an orchestra can play?
Well,
I'll leave it this bit. No, go on, do it.
It's attention to detail, and I think that's what's missing a lot with what people do. They sort of think, it's those chord changes, it's that rhythm, and they think they've done it. And actually, those producers that worked on that stuff went right into it, and hidden amongst the layers of synths and stuff, there's some incredible bits of work, and you're just really bringing that to the front, really.
And dare I say, and I don't know whether, because I'm not as accomplished as yourself, but really dance music is based itself on classical music anyway. It's very similar in its makeup and its form, so really you're just taking it way back. Is that?
Yes, there's always a string section, there's often brass, obviously lots of percussion and everything else.
But one of the things I said was really when we've had many late nights and going through this, and so the song choices originally were from about 50 we whittled down. And the hardest thing, I don't know about you'll explain a little bit more, is that you're taking usually what with dance tunes, which are anything from 8 to 12 minutes, squeezing them into 3. That for me was what really impressed me. Is like how do you take that, squeeze it in? There was a lot more of the tracks. People go, why don't you do this one? But a lot of dance music is quite repetitive as well. So you've got to have that. Things like Sing It Back. Who did that? Maloko. You've got to have the sort of the song, as it were, because certain things, even though people would go, why don't you do this? It's just too repetitive, and we tested them all, didn't we? And that's how we come to the
I think the orchestra only really works if it's constantly developing and expanding, whereas the dance music does sit better with just loop after loop. So it was the fact that they were 8 minutes was a bonus to us, because there was enough in that to make a good 3.5 out of it.
I've just got to bring myself up as well. Like over those days I was choosing, the one song you lot didn't want in was the one that everyone said was the best today.
I wasn't sure the whole idea would work till I sat down with a piece of paper, and within 20 minutes I was ringing him back going, this is going to work. So
and that's the thing. I mean, we the business we do, we obviously we do a lot of music anyway, but this is really enjoyable because we all bought into it, and suddenly it wasn't a factory, it's actually this is what we're doing, because it was a great idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, it is a great
idea. Back to your point on the audience that this would reach out to, I mean, what kind of demographic do you think this is going to...
Well, from my personal experience, and I am the right demographic to remember it, and still like it, when I was listening to them to transcribe them, I found myself feeling like I should be in a nightclub or something and dancing and stuff, but obviously I'm not really in enough shape to pull that off. And these seem to sit slightly further back, so if you don't want it right in your face, it's still the things you can identify with that you remember, but they're more passive and more detailed, more colourful maybe,
I think it's like when we did the Dance Anthems Unplugged before, we said that was dance music for barbecues. As we're getting older, still the generation, but I'd say this is more like it's like going from listening to Radio 2 to Radio 4. It's the next refined, and it's the next bit. It's like this is proper. And to do it somewhere like this is amazing, isn't it?
I was going to be a question. I mean, why here? Why Abbey Road?
I had a voucher thing. I'm only joking. That comes down to, obviously, we'd been here. I'd been here before with Ants, who did a project here before, and when Rumours, Fleetwood Mac, and I think it was just you chose it, didn't you?
Well, I mean, there's only 3 places that can fit in the country as it is at the moment, and this has clearly got the best pedigree and the most history. Yeah, it's
and the bar's wicked.
And the bar.